It was the morning of my 31st birthday, though no one marked it, save for the calendar on my phone, blinking a tiny cake icon. I'd already been awake for hours, forcing my feet into worn steel-toe boots and pulling on the faded work shirt. For another double shift at the auto shop, because rent doesn't pause for birthdays and overdue bills don't send polite RSVPs. The shop's fluorescent lights buzzed as I clocked in, 2 minutes early. Partly out of habit, partly because I hated waiting. I'd barely logged onto my break room playlist when my screen lit up. A message from Mallory. My heart pinched, anticipating a simple, happy birthday. Maybe a promise of leftover cake after her shift. A hug that didn't feel like an obligation. Instead, the words cut deeper than any wrench I'd turned all week. I sold your car. My family comes first. Be grateful I let you live here. My breath caught, as if I'd swallowed a shard of glass. I blinked, thinking it must be a joke, maybe Orion's idea of twisted humor. But the seconds ticked by. No follow-up, no emoji, no explanation, before I could compose a reply. Another notification. Oh, and my brother Orion's college tuition is due. $5,200. You'll cover it. My phone felt heavier, a dead weight I nearly dropped onto the concrete floor. I stared at those numbers, $5,200, scraped together for his art history classes, while I scrambled to cover my own rent, utilities, groceries. I typed back, "Not happening." The hammer blow landed almost immediately. "Then pack your ass. You're dead to me." I sank against the cool metal locker, the echo of the message reverberating in my skull. My heart pounded, not with surprise. Hell, this storm had been brewing since I signed every utility bill, wired every tuition transfer, cleaned every dusty corner of the house they treated like theirs. Not mine, but now, there was a fierce, hollow relief. I was done. My fingers trembled as I locked the phone and slid it into my pocket. I worked the rest of the shift with a measured calm, greasing brake pads, sharpening saw blades, while my mind replayed every silent sentence I'd swallowed. You'll cover it. Be grateful. Dead to me. Each one, another stitch, in the cage I'd built around myself. In the roar of the compressor, I heard my own pulse steady into a decision. I would not beg. I would not plead. I would simply leave. By late afternoon, the shop's lull gave me time to text Ronan 2 words. "Need couch." His reply came instantly. "Come now." I shut down the computers, unloaded tools, and walked out beneath a sky turning the color of bruised blue. Appropriate, I thought. I texted Mallory a single line. I'm done. No apology, no last-minute compromise. I wanted my words to echo, in the kitchen, where she would see them first. Walking the 3 blocks home, I felt a brittle calm settle around me. Each footfall on the cracked pavement sounded like freedom. When I reached the house, the front door was unlocked, as always. I stepped inside to the familiar hum of the refrigerator and the ghost of dinner dishes left soaking in the sink. Mallory stood at the counter, peeling carrots with meticulous precision. Trish lounged in the living room with a glass of red wine, head tilted back like a queen surveying a conquered kingdom. Conrad dozed in his recliner, eyes shuttered against an imagined sun. My blood chilled at their indifference, as if they'd been rehearsing this moment for months, waiting for me to emerge. I asked about the car sale. Voice low, no response. I asked about the tuition demand. Trish's laughter, cold, brittle, filled the space. "It's the least you could do for a family that took you in," she said, flicking her wrist. I didn't flinch. I gathered 2 duffel bags from my closet. Clothes, toiletries, the few mementos that still belonged to me. Without another word, I felt their eyes on my back as I walked through the corridor. Each step away, a reclaiming of the backbone they never noticed I had. At Ronan's loft, the heater wheezed to life, filling the concrete room with grainy warmth. The cat, a slender tabby with yellow eyes, jumped onto the mattress and curled against my side. I stared at the cracked window overlooking empty rooftops. The city's pulse, muffled at this height. For the first time that day, I allowed myself a long exhale. I pulled out my phone, disabled the auto payments for the mortgage, signed out of the streaming services, removed my name from the utility accounts and banking apps, each tab a stitch unpicked from a garment I'd worn too long. I didn't steal anything. They'd already convinced themselves of my disposability, but I withdrew my presence, my funding. The backbone they never saw had slipped away. Night came, and with it, the first tremors of their panic. My phone vibrated with group chat hostility, Mallory's frantic messages, Trish's accusations, Conrad's threats. The Wi-Fi was down. They blamed the provider. Netflix was gone. They blamed the remote. The water bill missed. They blamed the city. None of their frantic texts reached me. I watched them stumble in the dark, because for once they had no manual, no account in my name to rescue them. I lay on Ronan's stiff mattress, the cat purring against my shoulder. I felt a calm rage smoldering in my chest, a recognition. I had been both provider and prisoner, and now I was neither. I closed my eyes, and for the first time in as long as I could remember, I felt unbound. Propped up the cat, purring against my shin, and scrolled through the endless thread of messages like I was watching a play I no longer had a role in. I'd played the provider for so long, I'd forgotten what it looked like to see them scramble, without me. The illusion was cracking, and beneath it, their entitlement was laid bare. They weren't angry because they'd lost me. They were angry because they'd lost access. My phone buzzed again. Mallory. Direct message this time. "Why are you doing this? You're being petty." Ronan leaned back in his chair. "You're building peace now. Takes time. Messy start, but it gets quieter." I believed him, not because I had proof, but because the alternative was worse. Going back to that silence where I had to apologize for existing, for asking questions, for needing anything at all. Before bed, I checked the family group chat one last time. Trish had started copying and pasting old emails, trying to prove something. Her authority, maybe. Conrad had gone radio silent. Mallory was now asking friends if anyone knew a good tech guy. They were trying to rebuild what they had broken.